a man and convicted kidnapper and sexual assaulter who is currently serving time at the Ernest C. Brooks Correctional Facility in Michigan has just won a $100 million lawsuit against P. Diddy for an alleged sexual assault by P. Diddy against a man back in 1997 in Detroit.
Whoa. Oh, yeah! Good morning and welcome to episode 1543 of Hard Factor. It is Wednesday, September 11th, 2024. Never forget. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Patreon.com/hardfactor. If you need more Hard Factor, up to 3 weekly bonus podcasts. Plus, you can chat with us in the Discord server. Hopefully, you watched the debate live stream last night on X, because you can only really stream it on X because everybody else will take you down. So if you didn't, go watch the replay right now, because that was on X and that was hilarious. We haven't done it yet. We're taping this, but it was definitely funny. Right, guys?
It was our best live stream we've ever done.
Just incredible.
Yeah.
The best one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was incredible how well it went.
You already saw it, but watch it again. And if you haven't seen it, it's the best live stream we've ever done. Yeah.
Let us pump the numbers a little bit. Also, on this pod today, we're covering everything else you need to know right now besides what you already know about the debate from the live stream, because it was so fantastic, including the latest on P. Diddy with Wes. Yeah, he be creeping, you know. He be creeping on butts.
Out of pocket.
He's creeping on butts, and he just suffered a big blow. So he might be getting ready to say, "I'll be missing you" to all of us, because I think he's about ready to jet.
Oh,
yeah, he's getting ready to jet
home. Yeah.
He's getting ready.
You know what my favorite part of the debate was?
Playlist.
That really long, awkward hug between Trump and Kamala. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. It's like a long embrace.
Now that you've incepted it, I really want to see it. Speaking of creepy, Mark's got Iraq potentially getting very creepy with their laws.
Yeah. Not a lot of the women are going to Iraq the new law.
Iraq the new law.
Iraq it. They're not going to Iraq
it. I've got some Secret Sons and daughters and a Raygun update to end the show.
Yes, dude.
Culture section. Yeah.
Hook Raygun to my veins.
Yeah. Relationships and breakdancing. The culture section.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah. So Wes, you got something else?
No.
I mean, it is 9/11.
Yes.
So, we want to acknowledge that and say thank you to all the brave people that rushed to the towers that day. Remember all the people that lost their lives, people that are fighting for our freedoms in places far off from here. So, be nice to each other today of all days. Of all days, right? Remember that week after 9/11 when everybody had the American flag out. That was cool. That's right. I mean, that was cool. It was horrible what happened on 9/11, but then the week after was pretty fucking sweet. And if you were alive for it, just remember that week and think about it and be like, in honor of that, not going to be a dick today.
That did what I thought COVID and some other things would do. It brought everyone together. Now, maybe not some Muslim Americans who got a little bit of mistreatment for that, but most people came together.
No, and then now, years later, half the internet believes it's like, a conspiracy still. So there's just,
if you're still mad at the Muslims, I'm going to make fun of them in my segment. So,
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Okay. But, it didn't last. But the couple weeks right after, there was a lot of flags out. Everybody was high-fiving, being like, what?
He got
our differences. We support each other at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just like tap into that, right, as this election gets closer, because everything around you is going to be wanting you to tap into the other shittier side of life.
Right. For unity, as Wes said.
That's right. Yeah. And I got arrested for stealing all those flags.
Too patriotic.
Too patriotic. Yeah. Misguided patriotism is exactly what the judge said.
Yes.
We were gonna have a flag wall like we were gonna cover all of our walls in flags until I got dragged out of my room. Too many flags in the arms running down the street. Anyway, let's talk about P. Diddy. We haven't talked about him in a while. Some news came out about him a couple days ago about he was selling his house. We'll get to that later, probably because of what I'm about to tell you. I think he knew it was coming. So a man and convicted kidnapper and sexual assaulter himself, who is currently serving time at the Ernest C. Brooks Correctional Facility in Michigan, has just won a $100 million lawsuit against P. Diddy.
What?
Yep, there's P. Diddy looking happy. For an alleged sexual assault by P. Diddy against a man back in 1997 in Detroit.
Whoa.
So this is the guy, 51-year-old Derek Lee Cardello Smith.
Okay.
He filed the lawsuit against P. Diddy.
Is that Diddy's type? Derek Lee Cardello?
Diddy's type is whole, I think.
He looks like a Cuban Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
Put
description.
him back up.
Yeah. There he is. Yeah. There's a close up. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Right?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, like if Lawrence Fishburne was playing a guy who was defecting from the Cuban baseball team.
Yeah.
That boom.
He looks like Lawrence Fisherman.
If he had a big gap tooth, he would be a shoo-in.
And what's his name again? And he was
Derek Lee Cardello Smith. Okay. So again, this is of course one of many sexual misconduct allegations that Diddy is facing. So he claims, this guy, I'm just going to call him Derek, that in 1997 at a party in Detroit, according to court documents, that he felt, this is a quote, he felt Combs touch his buttocks while Cardello Smith was having sex with a woman who was with them. I don't know if it was a threesome situation. I don't know if Diddy was just doing the watching thing that he likes to do sometimes, but Diddy was like, I gotta touch that ass.
He's like, I got next.
Yeah.
I call him Lawrence Fishbuns.
Lawrence Fishbuns. I gotta get some of that light skin Lawrence Fishbuns.
Oh.
So Combs allegedly saw Derek recoil as any man would do if you're fucking a woman and some guy comes up and grabs your ass.
Yeah, you can tell that was a man hand.
He was like, whoa, whoa, P. Diddy. Whoa, you know. Then
later, P. Diddy probably doesn't have any calluses, so you might confuse you at first.
True, but
manicured.
But when he looked down and saw both of her hands,
he's like, her hands are pinned. Who did that?
Yeah, her hands are pinned now.
What hand is that? Oh, and then he looks over.
So I think it was consensual sex with the other woman. So let's just say that. But anyway, after the ass touch, Derek says that Diddy gave him a spiked drink. He's like, "Oh, you not ready to let me fuck that ass, player? All right. Here's a drink. Here's a drink for you." So Cardello Smith.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. He said Cardello Smith actually represented himself in court during this whole thing. He told the court in his complaint, quote, "I stayed sitting there and began getting drowsy and started to pass out. Then Sean Combs said to me,
that's terrible.
I added a little something to it for you. I will get that from you anyway, one way or another."
Oh man!
Wait,
Drop the lyrics.
Referring to Smith's ass.
Wait. At which part did it become fake? Did he say?
No. He said that. He said that. This is what he says. I will get that from you anyway, one way or another.
As you're fading to black.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough,
dude. He admitted to roofing him.
No. This is what Derek is claiming. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, he kind of admitted to it. It sounds like.
Oh yeah. He's saying that Diddy was like, I
put a little something in extra for you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get it one way or the other.
Damn.
Yeah, this was like a James Bond villain explaining what he's doing.
Yeah. And so Derek woke up with an incredibly sore buttocks.
Yeah, I would imagine. So P. Diddy was gonna get that ass one way or another. He was finna let loose and do the Diddy bop all over Derek's drugged up ass. That's what his plans, and that's what he alleged. I don't know exactly the specifications of what he says Diddy did to him, but he says that he was sexually assaulted. So you can only imagine what Diddy might do to a drugged up man that he once tried to grab the ass of. Yeah. So according to the independent article by Josh Marcus, during a hearing in August, Derek claimed that Diddy visited him in prison and offered him $2.3 million to just make the lawsuit go away. He's like, yo, you know how we, and he says, quote, Diddy said, you know how we get down, to which Derek responded, well, I disagree with how you get down.
Yeah,
right.
Didn't
appreciate the anal date raping.
Didn't like that.
3 million.
Yeah. So 2.3 million.
What was he suing him for?
For damages, just like all the other.
Yeah, but did he have a dollar amount? Like what?
Yeah, 100 million.
100 million. He was there for 100 mil.
Yeah, 100 million.
So he was offering him 2.3.
Right.
Which is 3%. A lot of money for a guy who's locked up in prison.
I would say double it, and it's a deal, Diddy.
Yeah, give me 10. I'll slash it by 90%.
Right.
So from the Guardian article, I'm just going to Ramon Antonio Vargas, the Lenawee County, Michigan court judge Anna Marie Anzalone, she issued a restraining order against Combs from selling off assets that could help him cover any damages possibly awarded to Cardelo Smith, which is weird because I'll get to the house in a minute. He just put up his house for sale for $61 million. Then this is what happens when a lawsuit comes against you and you just ignored it and you don't show up at the hearings, which Diddy didn't do yesterday, Monday.
He's selling his house and not showing up to the hearings.
Yeah. So the judge gave him the judgment for $100 million by default, which is what happens when you just don't, when you ignore your lawsuits that are leveled against you.
Because you're right. Because like you didn't even show up to defend yourself.
Right. Exactly.
It's kind of like when the cop doesn't show up to traffic court, they drop your charges.
There you go.
Yeah.
But it's like
something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah. So now, I said before, Derek represented himself in the lawsuit because he's been in prison off and on for, I guess, like 26 years. And he taught himself criminal and civil law during this incarceration time. And he's got a little bit of a history when it comes to suing people for sexual assault. Another one of his lawsuits is against the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Detroit. And he alleges that two of the organization's priests, as well as one of its lay employees, abused him between 1979, when he was about 7 years old, and 1993. So he's got, this is like his.
So he's just missing Weinstein and a Boy Scout leader.
From
the heavy hitting.
Okay, so you feel like he might be some type of class action.
It's weird because he was able to prove through through prison visitation logs that Diddy did come to him in prison, and whether or not he offered him money while he was there or not. I mean, it's like, why would Diddy go to visit this guy?
Right, with a pending lawsuit.
Yeah.
Diddy also has to have good lawyers. Okay, probably for a very, very, very long time with the music producing industry and ripping off artists and all the crap he's been accused of. He's probably had the best legal advice for decades.
Yes.
No one told him about the 100 million. So why wouldn't he show up to court unless he's, either guilty and or planning on getting the fuck out of Dodge?
I think he's planning on getting the fuck out of Dodge because so his lawyer, this guy Mark Agnifilo, said that this is just a money grab from a career criminal, saying, quote, this man is a convicted felon and sexual predator. He's been sentenced to 14 counts of sexual assault and kidnapping over the last 26 years. His resume now includes committing fraud on the court from prison, as Mr. Combs has never heard of him, let alone been served with any lawsuit. Mr. Combs looks forward to having the judgment swiftly dismissed.
Never heard of him, but showed up to visit him.
Yeah, but again, he has the receipts from the prison visit. So I don't know. Maybe his lawyer is just now flat out lying.
It sounds like though he's not the best guy to give $100 million to. Now you've got
no. I mean, he's a piece of shit. It sounds like
right. You don't want to give him Lawrence Fishburne's $100 million.
No,
because he's not gonna. He's gonna be up to no good with it.
Yeah. So his lawyers are now actively, seeking to get this thing dismissed. I don't know how they're doing it. This all just came out today. But if he doesn't get dismissed,
Judge awarded him the money, right?
Awarded him the money and ordered him to start paying Derek $10 million a month starting in October.
Is he still in jail currently?
Oh yeah, this is like a recent picture of him in jail.
Yeah, he just be getting it to his commissary account.
That's what I'm saying. Don't you think people are going to be coming after him in prison? It's like this is like winning the lottery in prison.
Yeah,
100 mil.
Like you want my protection. You want
that'd be pretty big.
I would probably be shaking down his tree a little bit.
I don't know, but
unless he's already clicked up, but he's gonna have to maybe promise some of that money to some people.
He's gonna have to pay up a little bit. Yeah, but
I
here's
wonder
the
if he has
house
a
that
legal team, like if he has like some junior analysts in there.
Well, now he certainly does. Now that he's gotten the $100 million awarded to him, he's going to have a slew of lawyers. He's certainly not going to represent himself all the way through now, but up until now he has. So again, did he put his mansion on the market on September 8th? $61 million. So he knew. I mean, like Mark said, you have to think that Diddy knew this was going to be a default judgment. So I don't know what his play is here.
I'm sure he was told that.
Yeah, I mean, his lawyers are the worst, but I think
he doesn't want to go to court for this one.
Right. Exactly. Right. It sounds like he's got some, he doesn't want
everybody is already saying no Diddy. And now if I go to court, it's just going to be cemented in stone.
Right.
This is Wes's worst nightmare. To win $100 million, and not only does everyone know exactly where you are, but you're in prison.
Yeah, you're locked up.
He's a brave man.
And this would be torture for Wes.
Yeah,
would be. And the reason you want it, that's tough too.
Yeah. The whole thing. Yeah,
whole thing.
It's stressful. It's a good win, but it's a stressful win.
It's a very stressful win. Very stressful win. Very stressful. This is the same house that, by the way, the Homeland Security raided in March during this whole investigation.
The $61 million one that he saw?
Yeah, that one right there. That is on. It's in Beverly Hills. That is ongoing to see about the trafficking and all this other stuff that he's accused of. So, people are saying, oh, he was going to sell this regardless. It was in the works, but I don't know. It seems like a pretty big coincidence that he's selling off.
Sounds like a crime house,
Yeah,
trying to get it off his hands. Yeah.
Is the jet fueled?
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So as one person on,
got to sell the crime house, then out of the country.
He's got to be getting the fuck out soon. But as one person online produced, hey, look, just remember they made Cassie look crazy until she produced receipts. Cassie, of course, is the woman that you saw Diddy beating in the hotel elevator corridor. So I don't know. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
He's no angel, that Diddy.
No, he's a piece of shit. It sounds like Derek's a piece of shit. Everyone's a piece of shit. But Derek's getting one piece of shit.
Well, it sounds like he had a bad night that night.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like he had a pretty bad night. Yeah.
You getting a little drowsy, Derek?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, hopefully you haven't had an experience like Derek did with Diddy, but if you did, I got the thing for you. BetterHelp.
Yep.
If that'll be good. That would be good.
Therapy is good for somebody like Derek.
Anybody really.
Yeah. Anyway.
Especially Derek.
You don't have to be Derek, but definitely also for Derek.
Yeah. And it can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder. Because your back to school era can come at any age, right? If you want to learn something, thinking about learning a new skill, as adults, sometimes we lose curiosity, but therapy can help you regain that curiosity and go after some goals that you might just be putting on the table because, I don't know, you're too stressed. You got too much anxiety. Let therapy help you relieve some of that and get you set on a new path. And it's done wonders for me. It's done wonders for many people on this podcast, many people in Discord. It's great thing. So if you want to get started with BetterHelp, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime at no additional charge. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/hardfactor today to get 10% off. That's betterhelp.com/hardfactor to get 10% off your, what is it? I didn't copy the whole thing. First month. Okay.
HELP, BetterHelp, baby. Do it.
Yeah.
Big controversy going on in Iraq. Stop the press.
Oh, yeah. Well, they like those.
Yeah.
Is Sodom back?
Sodomy is back.
Ooh.
They're set to vote on whether the courts can rule for religious law over federal law for a few things, mainly like child marriage. And the age for religion law is a little bit lower than federal law because Iraq's 1959 personal status law prohibits marriage for individuals under the age of 18. It does allow some exceptions all the way down to 15 if like both sets of parents agree and the judge is like, yep, that sounds good. So that's pretty reasonable. That's pretty fair, right?
Yeah.
It's fairly reasonable. 18 federal law, and
Most,
think we have
most states are lower here in the United States, I think.
True.
I think we're very similar. Like you can do 15 with consent or like parents.
It is overall similar though. Yeah.
It's very similar to all the states. Yeah. However, Shiite legislators in a bloc called the Coordination Framework, who happens to hold a parliamentary majority, so they're the ones, that
calling the shots.
They're calling the shots. They're pushing for a vote right now to allow religions and their specific age limit rules around marriages to supersede the federal laws. The law of God is stronger than the law of man. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what the Shiites are saying.
Shiite law is essentially the law of man, isn't it?
Yeah. Law of God, law of man.
Yeah.
Is that Sharia law though?
Oh, you're right. I'm thinking of Sharia law.
Same. Well, this is the Shiites follow Sharia law.
Okay, there you go.
Okay,
Shiites, the Sunnis and the Shiites, right? But I know the Shiites are like real into Sharia law. So Sunnis aren't super happy about what's going on here.
Shiite Sharia, it even rhymes. So
makes sense.
Yeah,
that's right. Maybe that's where Diddy's going. And the law of God or Allah.
That's what I titled the episode, the working title.
Nice.
P. Diddy likely planning a move to Iraq.
Yeah. Like probably. And the law of God or Allah is stated in the Jafari school of Islamic law, which is followed by most Shiite factions, says Allah allow 9-year-olds.
Oh, come on.
9-year-olds, dudes, can get married.
9-year-olds? 9-year-old girls.
Yeah, I mean, no one's marrying a 9-year-old boy. This is all girls.
Orphans?
Or from poor families that need
what? Like so just
this is like what India was doing, right? What's I forget what country. I covered it.
Yeah, it was. Africa, it was. I think
right?
one of.
Kenya?
It was Africa. You're right. Yeah, it was one of the African countries.
Kenya, somewhere in like Central.
9-year-old.
India, Africa.
So old creepy men could soon legally be allowed to marry 9-year-olds.
That's disgusting. So I mean, there's why does the Quran says you can marry a 9-year-old? Is that like a?
I'm not going to go that far. Sharia law says it. I don't know.
Sharia law says it. So they're saying that. Okay.
Yeah. From my understanding, Sharia law is just pretty much made up by men.
It's man law.
Okay. Man law. Yeah, it's just man law.
It's creepy man law.
It's not in the book.
Man law.
It's not in the book. It's like, hey, it would be cool if what we could do.
It's just in the book of man.
Right. This is the book of Sharia.
Yeah, but don't some of those men have daughters? Like that's just, dude, it's gross. Could you imagine? I mean, it's fucking gross. 9-year-old.
It's terrible. It's pretty bad. Now they don't have to let them marry at 9 if they're rich, but now a lot of people, including most women in Iraq and the Sunnis, as I mentioned, are not real thrilled about this thing potentially passing. Also, Shiite cleric Rashid al-Husseini, which is, I don't think it's this guy. That's like just showing you kind of what he kind of what we're working with here. Said yes, Sharia law allows marrying 9-year-old girls. But in practice, this is something that actually happens. What? 0%, maybe 1% of cases. Okay, it happens a little sometimes, but not that often. There are some. I know a few guys, okay, but I don't really like them.
Some of my buddies.
Yeah,
we just want to make it legal is all. That's it. Yeah. That's it. It will never happen. We just want it legal.
1%, 90%. What's the difference?
The opportunity should be there.
So gross. Yeah. So
I will just make it legal, okay?
Just in case.
It's like Mark said. It's like Mark said. So it sounds like the lower class is against it. The upper class is for it. It's like
all women are against it.
It's like a prima nocta thing. It's like this is like what the English did to the Scottish. It's like
they want to turn poor people into sex slaves.
Yeah, exactly. The rich people are just going to buy all the poor girls. This is gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as he kind of admitted, we're talking about Sharia law and stuff, and as several women have come out and given their own testimonies of getting married at early teenage years, a lot of these people, regardless of whether this passes in the parliament and the law of the land or not, just go with the religious law anyways, and
right.
Continue
it's like those villages in India when
it's not legal.
Happens.
They don't have a legal documentation.
The elders will decide.
Yeah, sure, but still make that like it, that it happens, but it still shouldn't be like okay, right? From the government's perspective, that's super creepy.
It's real creepy. Some of the Shiites in Iraq are pretty upset, claiming that there's too much Western or infidel influence in Iraq, and this is kind of why they're getting down to business.
So that's why they need to be able to marry 9-year-olds.
Yeah, they have been taking matters into their own hands since, like they got that parliamentary majority. For example, in April of this year, the Iraqi Parliament passed a law that imposes a sentence of 10 to 15 years in prison mandatory if you're caught in any sort of gay sexual act. If it's if you're Diddying someone, it's 10-year minimum. And a 1 to 3 year sentence.
He's moved to Iraq, though.
Maybe he shouldn't move to Iraq. Yeah.
It's a wrench in it.
Put a wig on that boy. And a 1 to 3 year sentence for people who undergo or perform gender transition surgeries for for intentional practice of effeminacy. So they're calling it don't be such a fairy law.
Intentional practices.
Feminine men can go to jail for 3 years just for acting a little bit too feminine over there now.
What do they do? Just like it's like alpha camp that we they send them in there and just like bark at them for 3 years.
Go ahead, paint your nails. Watch what happens, buddy. Come here, Caleb Williams. 1 to 3.
I mean, dude, wouldn't you just leave Iraq if that was like?
You'd hide, you'd closet yourself until you could get out of there. Yeah,
get the fuck out of Iraq.
I think a lot of gay people have done that in the past 100 years.
So they're saying, look, if we can marry these women at 9, we can prevent them from being influenced and going to school.
Look, West, if they can marry the 9-year-old girls, the sky's the limit. All right.
What they're saying is these Western Christians and whoever else, these fucking idiots don't understand us, and we need to take power back and do what we want to do.
We'll show them.
Yeah.
We'll marry them.
They think we're crazy.
Yeah. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah, exactly. It's not called the Don't Be a Fairy law. It's actually called the Anti-Prostitution Law, and also bans any organization or company that promotes sexual deviancy. So like no porn. Anyone caught doing sexual deviancy will get a 7-year prison sentence through their organization.
What's more sexually deviant than marrying a 9-year-old?
It's a good question. Maybe they're maybe they just locked themselves up.
Good Lord.
And also a fine of no less than 10 million dinars, which is about 8,000 USD. But, boys will be boys over there. It's good to be a Shiite,
Really?
Good to be a Shiite man.
If you've convinced yourself of that, it really must be.
Right? Like, yeah. That's just boggles my mind as having a daughter. Like, it just is insane. Like, how could any dude who's a father, like, support that?
You'd think the murder rate would be 10 million a year over there from fathers.
Yeah, every 9-year-old sold, the dad is gonna.
Yeah,
he's secretly plotting to just murder the body.
Just be heads on stakes everywhere.
Well, if they don't react, do they get the 1 to 3 years for being too feminine, for not stepping up?
Right, because then you were too much of a pussy.
I'll have your daughter, and you're going to jail.
They live like Vikings over there.
Yeah, again, this isn't everyone. There's a lot of people upset about this.
Sure.
This is the very devout Shiites that follow a particular practice over there.
Still trying to
paint everyone. There's like 12 billion Muslims, and 99% of them are great folk, as is the case for all religions. It's just the small percentage of extremists, But that's what's going on over there.
Wow.
I mean, we've got some pretty, religious extremists over here in the U.S.
Yeah, you don't think that the cults over here are marrying off 9-year-olds? They're grooming them at 9. If they don't, they might wait till 11. But there's a lot of cults over here that have.
We got a couple cults, okay.
We got a few. We got a few sickos over here.
Yeah, we got plenty.
Hollywood,
a few white sickos.
We just talked about Diddy too. I mean, there's lots. There's lots. Speaking of extremists, though. It's a perfect segue to take it to the culture section, because we're talking about secret sons first up in the culture section, relationships. Okay. Newsweek is reporting that Putin's secret sons, he has 2 of them allegedly, with the gymnast, they love Disney. And Newsweek is saying that just drives Putin up a wall. He can't stand that his 2 boys absolutely love Disney. The organization Newsweek spoke with didn't say exactly which characters they love to mimic, but apparently they watch Disney all day because they're so like secretly protected. You know, they don't even exist allegedly. Like they're not even in the databases or whatever.
That's tough for Putin.
Yeah.
So these two boys have to watch Disney all day, and Russia sucks at making cartoons. So what does he expect, right? His two boys that can't play with anybody have to drink out of their own individual mugs, allegedly, so they're not poisoned. But they have nothing but Disney.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Let it go. Let it go.
I hope he has to sing it.
Bears fighting men.
Let it go. Let it go.
You want to go as Olaf again for Halloween?
Yeah. Olaf. Oh, Olaf.
Every time I come in, Olaf is on.
Apparently, people have like leaked that he tells them their heads are going to fall off watching all that Western cartoons, but they love the Disney. Apparently,
it's going to rot their brains.
I mean, it makes them more. That's what every American parent says too. So
nothing worse than getting out of a deer antler bloodbath and walking into Frozen 2 on again.
Yeah. Right, but you got to remember he is an extremist for sure. Yeah. So you got to watch out. You know. Also, he has those kids live in a secret compound. They're not on the Russian like population.
Disney cartoons are probably the most normal thing those kids will ever do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's their one taste of normal. Everything else is going to be absolutely fucking insane.
Pale and just watching Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta be. Gymnast and Putin. Putin's like, he's clear. He's so pale.
Yeah.
Gymnastics inside. Also, Dave Grohl. Turns out he's got a little road baby of his own, a secret daughter that he just came public about. This makes his fourth daughter outside of his 21-year marriage, where he already has 3. And it seems like women everywhere are pretty mad at Dave Grohl right now. So,
including his wife, right? That'll throw a monkey wrench in your marriage.
Which sure will, Mark. Yeah. It also explains a lot of his titles. Like he went from I'll Stick Around in 1995 was one of his hits, and then The Pretender somewhere around the 2000s. Right. I mean, it really brings into picture sort of what he was going through.
There goes my hero is what the road baby says the one time a year he's in town. When he leaves
2 times a year. Right.
I mean, this isn't
Good
shocking.
news.
He's a fucking rock star on the road. I'm surprised he didn't have 8 road babies.
Yeah, I mean, he admitted to it, and he said he's going to step up and be a father. So, I mean, you know.
How old's the kid now?
I didn't see that. I don't know if that's out. Because, well, no, he said he's welcoming a new baby. So I think it's like he's saying it at the beginning.
I think that this kid's just about to pop out. Yeah.
Okay. Right. He's getting ahead.
Yeah.
Ahead of it. Doesn't seem like people are very excited for him. Mostly just anger.
That kid better learn to fly if it wants to see dad.
Yeah. Because she might not have the same visitation schedule as the other 3. All right. On to the breakdancing focus of this culture section. Controversial B-girl, the Rachel, which with an extra A, I don't know why, Raygun Gun, that's her name, from Australia. You remember her from the Olympics. Noted breakdancer who was not awarded a single solitary point for her recent Olympics performance, where she looked like a toddler fighting a diaper change. And if you don't believe me, there are literally entire genres for Raygun toddler on TikTok. They're searchable.
Yeah. They're all like, when my 3-year-old says, look at what I can do. Yeah.
She's been memed as a toddler by every person on TikTok. It's crazy.
I've also seen the dogs rolling in the dirt. There's a lot of when your dog smells something disgusting, and then it's a cut between Raygun doing her wiggle. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the memes are incredible. She's been providing the entire world entertainment for months now. Anyways, it turns out that this 37-year-old toddler-like B-girl not only set the record for never getting a single point in Olympic breakdancing, and also she basically single-handedly got Olympic breakdancing removed from all future Olympics.
Right. Well, yes and no, because that was an elective, and you get to pick like 4 electives. The host nation gets to pick, but it could have come back. It's never going to come back. So it wasn't scheduled for the next. Those were already picked in LA, and they're picking like flag football.
She closed the door,
but like 8 to 12 years from now, it could have come back, and it's probably not going to come back.
Not because Raygun I mean, she made sure breakdancing will never be an Olympic sport and never be taken seriously because not only did she do all that, she's now ruined the world breakdancing rankings as well. Because the reason why is because the Oceania tournament that she won somehow to get her spot in the Olympics, apparently that gave her enough breakdancing ranking points to be the new world #1 ranked breakdancer.
Whoa.
In the World Dance Sport Federation.
To destroy breakdancing.
Yeah, no, these are the real rankings just released. Okay, you see B-Girl Raygun.
You tell me B-Girl Rico can't outdance Raygun?
Apparently B-Girl Rico is also a fucking like a big controversy because the world, what is it called again? The
WDSF World
the WDSF World Dance Sport Federation. They had to come out and like with these rankings, they released the thing being like, you have to understand the Olympics had no part of the rankings. How people actually perform have no part of the rankings. We just take the rankings from these other small tournaments.
So these people just show up the most, right? They just go to the most events
or have the most influence at the local level, right? And so none of the Olympic medalists, none of the 3 Olympic medalists for the females are listed in the rankings at all.
Wow.
At all.
It's a sham. Yeah.
What a sham sport.
Yeah. So Raygun maintains that she and her husband didn't force their way into the Olympics by having influence over the selection committee breaking, which is a like nonprofit that a lot of Snopes articles claim they had nothing to do with setting up, but then a lot of Redditors and other people say they did. Anyways, do your own research on that.
I saw that. Well, she came out and apologized recently because she's like, okay, I do feel bad about what I've done for the sport. So I'd like to apologize to breakdancers and to Australians for the bad press this has caused. But while I'm doing that, I would like to say that I'd also like to apologize to absolutely no one, Conor McGregor, because I've earned all of the points. I am the best breakdancer in Australia and have been for over a decade. And I had nothing to do with anything besides racking up points.
She also, though, Mark, strangely at this point has said she's not going to breakdance anymore, staying away from competitions, which is weird. When you get the world #1 ranking, you'd think that'd be at your prime. Instead, when she was awarded the world #1 ranking, she basically apologized again and said, I'm not going to breakdance anymore for at least a little while. So I'm not sure people are really buying her shtick about not having any control over where she landed in Oceania, because how fuck could you make somebody the winner of your continent and then send them to the Olympics and they can't win a single point? I mean, either the judges at Oz breakdancing are the worst breakdancing like aficionados on planet Earth, or there's something fishy.
Did you guys watch the routine? We could, in our current physical forms, do the full routine.
Well, I was going to say she could almost start a brand new style called the Raygun style.
No, but nobody likes it. It's a meme. It's like,
I know, but I'm saying like that the way she did it was so far off from actual breakdancing that it could be its own style of breakdance. Like
this reminds me of like when people
a joke
throw paint at a wall and they're like modern art.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, her style is a joke, Wes. I agree.
Yeah.
I just don't know
what she's saying. She's saying that her style supersedes everyone else's athleticism and the spinning on your head and all the things that come with breakdancing because she's more creative.
Her style supersedes breakdancing. I get it.
She's broken breakdancing.
Right. Well, and she says she's
breakdancing in 5D.
It's like spoken word versus actual poetry.
Right.
Gotcha. So okay. Well, now I understand it. So I guess that's why she's not apologizing. Really, as Mark says, she still maintains she's the.
She knows she's #1. Well, she knows in her heart of hearts she's the best breakdancer in the world.
Okay, it really seems like there's something that happened there, but I don't know if we're ever going to get the truth. I think there's a lot of Australians petitioning to find out the truth, but it feels like it's
the truth is this is the greatest prank anyone's ever played on someone, and they got her buying into it. It's like the emperor with no clothes on, and she thinks she's wearing an outfit.
Everyone at the Olympics, that's for sure.
Do you think that she was unaware?
I'm starting to think that she's unaware that she's a bad breakdancer. Well, I think she thinks she's a good breakdancer, and everyone else knows she's not. But some people have told her along the way she is. Maybe
There's
as a
no
joke.
way she thinks she's good.
I think she does. I think she thinks she's good.
Well, then she's insane.
Yeah.
Well, you can't look at someone doing what they do for real and being like,
you got to see what she's been saying in all these interviews. She's saying, yeah, maybe they're more athletic than me, but not as creative.
She's like expressive dance.
Yeah.
Like
it's the sport of breakdancing.
Right. Yeah. You got to be free. You got to do a spin. You got to do at least one spin on your head.
The windmill at least once, Raygun.
That's fucking crazy. Well, I don't buy her story. A lot of people out there buying it. All the fact-checking websites are behind Raygun. They say nothing nefarious at all. Feels weird though, gotta say.
Yeah, feels weird.
Feels weird. All right, that's it. If you're watching the live stream, hang up for an hour and then join us for the next live stream on X for the presidential debates. We will have the debates there. And if you didn't watch it live, rewatch it right now. And most importantly, get out there and have yourselves a great fucking day. Thanks for watching, Claire.